It's time to start your day with the First Cup Morning Show.
Serving up a warm cup of good news, positivity, and uplifting messages.
And now, here's your host,
Our dad,
Joshua Kangley.
Hello, friends. Good morning to you, and welcome back on in to the First Cup Monday Morning Show. I'm your host, Joshua Kangley. And here is the place where we start off the week together with some good news and interesting facts. Thank you so much for joining the show this morning as we start off our week. And we do have the good news for you today. We will get to that in just a bit. But first, let's start it all off with a quote. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, please excuse that pronunciation, once said, "Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen." I think it's important to pause on that word magic because he's not talking about something flashy or unrealistic. He's talking about the kind of magic most people overlook, the quiet kind, the kind of magic that starts internally, long before anyone else sees it. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you're fearless or perfectly confident. Most of the time, it simply means you choose not to give up on yourself, even when doubt is loud, even when progress feels slow. And that belief is often the difference between someone who keeps moving forward and someone who stops short of what they're capable of becoming. You see, when you believe in yourself, you try one more time. You take the step you were afraid to take. You stay when it would be easier to walk away. And that's where things begin to change. Not because the world suddenly makes it easy, but because you decide you're worth the effort. And that's the real magic. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with guarantees. It just quietly works. One decision, one action, one moment of courage at a time. And when you look back, you realize what once felt impossible only needed one thing to begin, and that's you. And now let's go to the Did You Know? December 15th is one of the most important dates in American history because on this day, December 15th in 1791, the Bill of Rights was officially ratified, adding the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. These amendments were written to do something revolutionary for their time, protect the people from government overreach. They guaranteed fundamental freedoms like speech, religion, and the press, the right to keep and bear arms, protection against unlawful searches, and the promise of fair trials and due process. At the heart of the Bill of Rights is a powerful idea, and I think the most important, that rights are not granted by government, but are inherent to the people. And government exists to protect them, not take them away. James Madison, often called the father of the Bill of Rights, crafted these amendments to ensure that the new federal government would remain limited and accountable to the citizens it served. And more than 230 years later, the Bill of Rights remains a living foundation of American freedom, guiding courts, protecting individuals, and reminding us that liberty requires vigilance. So today, we don't just remember a historical moment, we honor the freedoms that continue to define what it means to be American. According to nationalcalendarday.com, today, December 15th, is National Cupcake Day. The cupcake was originally known as the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake because the recipe called for 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, 4 cups of eggs, and also a cup of milk and a spoonful of baking soda. One of the first recipes for a cupcake can be traced back to 1796. A recipe notation for a cake to be baked in a small cup was written in American Cookery by Amelia Simmons. And the earliest known documentation of the term cupcake shows up in 1828 in 75 recipes for pastry, cakes, and sweetmeats. The cookbook was by Eliza Leslie. Bakers originally baked cupcakes in heavy pottery cups. Today, some bakers still use individual ramekins, small coffee mugs, larger teacups, or other small oven-proof pottery-type dishes for baking their cupcakes. And today, cupcakes are an art form. Bakers create elaborate decorations and displays using a variety of ingredients. Whether they're the centerpiece of a wedding, birthday, or anniversary, cupcakes satisfy everyone's sweet tooth. Colorful and fun, these single serving delights offer a pleasing option when planning any celebration. So happy National Cupcake Day to you. And if you have a recipe you'd like to share, please comment on the post, include it in the review, or email me at admin@guidinglights.org. And now it's my kids' favorite part of the show. It's time for some animal fun facts.
Today's animal is the duck-billed platypus. Did you know duck-billed platypuses are monotremes, which is a mammal that lays eggs?
Did you know baby platypuses are called puggles?
All right, let's get to the good news of the week. This week's good news headline comes from sunnyskies.com. News source credit goes to sunnyskies.com. High school students repair cars, then give them away to single mothers in need. At a high school in Virginia, students are rolling up their sleeves to repair and restore cars, not just for class credit, but to give reliable transportation to single mothers in need. Through an automotive technology program at Louisa County High School, teens are learning real-world skills while making a real difference in their community. The program gives 11th graders hands-on experience working on actual vehicles, teaching them everything from basic mechanics to how a car's electrical system works. Students repair cars for teachers, fellow students, and local residents at reduced prices, turning the classroom into a working auto shop. Beyond the routine repairs, the class also restores donated vehicles that are later given away to mothers facing transportation challenges. Auto tech teacher Shane Robertson says the car giveaways are unforgettable moments, especially when the garage door opens and the recipient realizes the vehicle is theirs. School leaders say the automotive lab is a powerful example of lifelong learning in action. Students aren't just gaining technical knowledge, they're learning perseverance, problem solving, and how their skills can be used to help others. The giveaway program grew through a partnership with the nonprofit organization Giving Words. And together, their partnership has provided more than 60 cars to families in need and repaired over 260 vehicles. For recipients, the gift often arrives at a time when solutions once felt out of reach. For students, seeing the emotional reactions of the mothers receiving the cars add powerful meaning to the work they do in class. You know, every now and then a story comes along that reminds us what community is really supposed to look like. At a high school in Virginia, students aren't just learning how engines work or how to diagnose electrical problems, they're learning something far more important. That skills matter most when they're used to lift someone else up. And inside that automotive classroom, teenagers are rolling up their sleeves, restoring old cars piece by piece, not for trophies, not for attention, but so a single mother can get to work, take her kids to school, or finally stop worrying about how she's going to make it to the next appointment, the next shift, the next responsibility waiting for her. Think about that for a moment. For many of these mothers, transportation isn't a convenience. It's the difference between stability and struggle, between opportunity and being stuck. And when that garage door opens and they realize the car in front of them is theirs, the emotion isn't about metal and tires. It's about relief. It's about dignity. It's about their hope returning. And here's the part that really stays with me. The students doing the work don't always see that moment coming. They're focused on the task, tightening the bolts, fixing the wiring, solving problems. But when that mother walks in, sometimes in tears, they suddenly understand that their effort meant something far bigger than a grade. And that is education at its best. Not just teaching how to do something, but teaching why it matters. And maybe that's the lesson for us this week. That good news doesn't always come from big systems or grand speeches. Sometimes it comes from a classroom turned into a garage, from young people choosing to care, and from a community deciding that no one should have to face life challenges alone. This is what it looks like when education meets heart, when skills meet service. And this is very good news. I really hope you enjoyed that good news. And for more good news, positivity, and uplifting messages, you can always visit guidinglights.org. That's www.guidinglights.org. And as always, before we go, I'd like to leave you with a dad joke. What do Santa's helpers learn at school? The alphabet. Well, friends, that's going to wrap up this week's show. Thanks once again for listening and tuning in. I do appreciate all the support. If you do like the show, please don't forget to subscribe wherever you like to listen to the show. And if you haven't yet, please go ahead and leave an awesome 5-star review. And don't forget to leave your favorite cupcake recipe or your favorite bakery you like to get cupcakes from. I challenge you to be the reason someone smiles this week. And for you, I hope you have a great week yourself. I hope the show brought a smile to your face today. And finally, remember, don't let the mainstream media fool you, because just like that news coming out of that high school garage, there is good news happening all the time.